Real life show again. I'm so happy to be here once again. And the show talks about things that transpire in the real life, the things that we face in our daily lives. And my name is Priscilla once again. And today we have another exciting topic. Guess what? It's etiquette. Etiquette is defined as the social things, the socially acceptable norms that society accepts. Those small things that we do that we sometimes keep eyes on, yet they really matter most. So we have very many panelists with me, and we are going to talk about etiquette. Dr. Christine, what do you know about etiquette? What comes to your mind?
Um, Actually, etiquette, I would, in a simple term, I would think the accepted norms of behavior that someone should exhibit, how you expected to behave. If you're eating, how should you eat? If you're dressing, how should you dress? If you're doing something, conversation, talking, basically how someone expects you to behave.
You should just chip in there.
Well,
What do you know about etiquette?
just to chip in, etiquette to me refers to the guidelines that actually control the way a responsible person out there should behave in society. So basically, there are various types of etiquette, but I'll actually just give a hint. Well, there is what we call bathroom etiquette. Well, this involves the guidelines that control the way a responsible person should behave while in a rest house or a public toilet. Well, to the people out there, I don't want to use strong coast language, but then when you reach the toilet, you don't need to leave the things afloat. You need to flush after using the toilet. Then we have what you call corporate etiquette. I think Dr. Christine can actually expound more because she's spent quite a long period of time in the working class. That one controls the way a responsible person should behave while at work, and it actually involves maintaining the reputation of a company. Then we have what you call wedding etiquette. This dovetails into reaching early on weddings and non-drinking uncontrollably. You get what I'm trying to say? Then
I don't get you there. First, wait. When you reach in the wedding, how are we supposed to drink? Because for me, I thought like when you reach the wedding and there are already free drinks, I'm supposed to just grab my glass and.
okay, you need to drink in a responsible way. Okay, I mean, some people, as in drinking uncontrollably, some people go on and drink a lot and they end up going tipsy and doing weird stuff that will actually lower their dignity. So basically, that's wedding etiquette.
Actually, it reminded me something. There's a certain WhatsApp video that went viral. And this lady was on a wedding, and then there were glasses, when you're on a table, and there were glasses all over. So somehow I don't even know who was taking a video of her, and she was busy pocketing all the glasses that were on that table. So you can imagine, I looked at this lady and I was like, oh my God. So it may actually not necessarily even be the way you eat, the way you're drinking, but those simple things. Now you've come, that you've talked about the wedding, I've remembered, at times you're in a line and you see this smartly dressed man or woman bypassing you to go in front of others. Like those simple things.
Well, I find that thing so really offensive.
I
And
know.
it began way back in primary. You know how you used to make lines to get food, you're all hungry, you're all craving for posho. And then people just come and start bypassing you because maybe they are prefects or maybe they are way taller than you. Okay, that thing is really offensive. So
Yeah,
Glenn,
yeah. What she said about the wedding, was it a man or a woman?
It was a lady.
Yeah. I've watched one where the guy was pocketing chicken with a fork, man. How do you?
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. It was crazy, man. And I think this is, it comes from, they say charity begins at home. I think these people need to be, brought up. We need to raise our children. I don't have children, but we need to raise our children properly. You can't behave like that in public. I mean, you never know, but someone is always watching.
That's true. There's also another thing about the cake. Now they've served the cake. And then the bigger part is just not close to you. So you raise your hand and you pick the part that is almost at the other extreme end. Like if I was seated to you, next to you, and maybe you're a potential suitor, I'll be like, this one too much malo. So those simple things. If they brought a cake, I know at times you have an appetite, you're hungry, you love cake like me, and you want to pick the biggest. Just pretend for once. You can buy yourself that cake for God's sake, and you sit on it and eat it. Just pick the hand closest to you and eat that. And again, don't put all the fingers. Everyone is going to use this, eat from this cake. So you want to put all the fingers and pick. Like those simple things. Use your 2 fingers if you can, or 3. Pick your cake. You can put it in one palm, and then you eat. Or if you have, a big mouth like me, you just put in and eat. So, what are we trying to say? Behaving in a way that respects you, that makes you, be respected. Those simple things.
Wow, you know what I'm really getting from this whole conversation is that these simple things that we do, that sometimes we do not even notice that others are noticing. People are actually noticing. And you mentioned something about the potential suitors. Some of these things that we do send out red flags. For example, I will talk about how someone dresses. You know how someone really dresses, portrays a lot about who they are. Sometimes, at some point, I was talking to some friend of mine, and they termed me to be so judgmental. And I took it to be offensive, but it's reality.
What did you say?
I took it to be offensive because because I looked at some girl who were in class, and I'm like, oh my God, there will never come at any one point in time when I'm dressed like that. I'm like, Priscilla, you're so judgmental, just tone down. So, but then you know how you dress up, someone will look at you and they will not respect you. Because for me, okay, back then, I've started toning down by the grace of God. Back then, when I look at, if you're a guy and you have plaited hair, in my mind, I'll be like, I have no business that binds me with that person. So I would not even approach you, I would not even say hi or something. But by the grace of God, I've started adjusting. Yes, so what do you think about dressing? What can you say about it?
Well, I think this thing of dressing, well, you need to be decent. Okay, I think the way you actually appear, the way you look, will actually give someone a mindset on which he or she would actually think of you. You get what I'm trying to say? So people will actually judge you basing on the way you dress, basing on the way you speak, as in minor things. Saying thank you, greeting someone in the morning. Actually, this also drives me to something that says good manners cost nothing, but they mean everything. It costs you nothing to actually greet someone in the morning, to say excuse me, because these things are seen as minor things, but eventually in the long run they pay off. They pay off. And actually, I had forgotten something to tell you, but good manners plus, okay, you might have all the money in the world. You might have all the money in the world, but there are 3 things that you can't buy. You can't buy manners, morals, and integrity. And when you get good manners plus good morals plus integrity, you get what we call etiquette, the topic that we're talking about today. And I basically call it the equation of discipline. So I don't know where someone can chip in from.
Now, yeah, you talked about the dressing, and I remembered there's this particular saying for, some of us who are working, even you guys who are not working, they usually tell us, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. And then, leaving that aside, every morning when you're dressing, even our viewers out there, you look into the mirror. Even if you don't have a big mirror, you have that small mirror. Look at yourself. Usually, by the way, from my personal experience, when I'm dressed, there's a way you feel comfortable in particular clothes. And then others, they're like this and So the moment you have that in you, do not dress like that. Because even the people who pretend, me, I don't mind. You wear whatsoever you want to wear. There is that inner conscience that tells you, Priscilla, Kent, this is not okay. So the moment you have that, remove it and dress something that makes you be respected, that makes you feel comfortable. Because one thing I've realized, every time you're comfortable in your dressing, trust me, even your esteem is up. But every time you're dressed into something you're not comfortable with, you'll be moving, pulling the dress down, or you're pulling to the buttons here, maybe the cleavage is out. So you can avoid all that and dress in a way that you feel comfortable and that you enjoy, and that makes you move with your head up. It costs you nothing.
I'd like to add on to that, the dressing part. You know, most of us dress up, we tend to take it a little too far, but I mean, that can be worked on. But there's something that most of us youths, we have a problem with, and that is the odor, the body, the natural smell. We need to work on that, guys, man. I mean, you bypass someone, and it's terrible, man.
And
so
you know the funniest thing, when you talk about the odor, people who have it love to hug, love coming close.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
you're like,
no
oh
idea.
Jesus, please, I wish
Yeah.
she or he does not come close.
yeah.
You know that actually
And
brings
it
us.
makes someone very uncomfortable. I mean, you forcefully hug, but you're like, you're turning the other side. So,
That actually brings me to this question that I would like to pose to you panelists and our viewers out there. Where should you have your boundaries? Like hugging, is it okay to hug everyone? Is it okay a handshake? Okay, for me personally, I really find hugging, like when by the time you hug someone, you're really close to them. But then some people, they think that the fact that we talk, I said hi, I'm supposed to hug you. What do you say about that? Is it okay?
I think for me, hugging is not bad, and I wouldn't have any problem with that. But the way I'm going to hug, assuming my boyfriend, will be different from the way I'll hug Kent, or Josh, or you. Okay, you're a lady, I can hug you, and I mean. But as a person who is a Christian, we very well know that we are still in this human body. So we have hormones moving on, we have everything. So I'll hug you in a way that I know is not disrespectful or uncomfortable to you. Yeah.
All right. So which other social etiquette norms do you think should be
Let's
really
talk about
implicated?
eating.
Eating. Oh my God. Who is bringing that? Joshua.
Well, now this thing of eating actually dovetails into what we call table etiquette, rather the dining manners. Well, there are certain things that we actually underestimate, and we do them as we on the tables, as we actually on dinners or breakfasts or anything of such a sort. Well, you need to, first of all, you don't need to put your elbow on the table. You get what I'm trying to say? That's not etiquette. That's not table etiquette. 2, you need to say, excuse me. For example, you can belch accidentally.
Let's pause the point there, Joshua. You said you're not supposed to put our elbows. How should our viewers out there sit? Because many people are victims of that. How should we sit?
Well, you need to have a proper sitting posture as you're on the dining, with your hands under the table.
And I think that usually comes in if your chair is very far away. So you want to put the hand on the table to make sure that you're close and the food does not spill on you. So the best thing to do actually usually, push the chair closer to the table where your plate is, and you actually feel comfortable. You find yourself even not putting the hand there because you're close to your plate.
And by the way, there is also this thing of looking into other people's plates. That ain't cool at all. It's bad. So if you're out there and you've been doing it, please halt that.
All along I thought that thing was traditional, and when you were still young and when you go to the village, they tell you don't look in the other person's plate. So I didn't know it was also part of etiquette.
Yeah, it's part of table etiquette. Then there is also this thing of chewing. As you're chewing, you need to cover your mouth, because as you're chewing, as you're opening your mouth, maybe the food might spill out to your neighbors. So
No one wants to see what's coming out of your mouth, man. You have to keep it to yourself. It all comes back to discipline, by the way. You can't chew like that in public. You've watched movies. You've watched how those guys eat. They sit at a table and they're all, mouth closed. You see that, yeah?
Now, when you talk about food, I remembered using the cutlery. There are some people at times, honestly, for me, I know it's not right. I love using my right hand to hold my fork because it's easy. I mean, I've grown up using my right hand. So you go on a table, you find everyone using the left, and you want to use the left. You cut the piece of chicken, and it jumps to the other neighbor. So being comfortable in your own skin, even at the table, is very important. If you feel you can't use a table knife and a fork to slash your chicken, use a napkin or a serviette and hold your chicken and eat. and no one will laugh at you. But I guarantee you, if you force some of these things that you're not used to, you're going to chop it, it will jump, or even hit you in your own face.
Wow, and you know, doctor, many girls don't know these things. They think when you go and you're given like all the cutlery, you're given the knife and the fork, you're supposed to also use the knife like it's mandatory. But they actually don't know that you can also use the napkin. So at least it's a take home for you guys.
I mean, depending on where you are, you can. I mean, when you're with your friends, what? There's no need. You can just use your hands, man. It's as simple as that. You know?
Yeah, and there is also this thing of thanking the cook after you've eaten. Yeah, it's a very, very mandatory act. You need to thank. Okay, by the time we used to grow up, I think Sister Priscilla can be the chief witness. Well, our mom actually nurtured into us certain little character strengths. Well, we used to actually say, okay, I'm sorry for using Luganda, but whenever we would eat, we would be like, Ofumbenyo mami. So if you're out there and you still have your mother out there and she can actually cook delicious food for you, after eating, it costs you nothing to actually thank her. And basically, when you also go out to the places out there that aren't your homes, you need to thank the cooks.
Wow,
That's
thank you
true.
so much. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful show, and it's a wrap up for us. Any closing remarks from all the panelists? Dr. Christian?
Wow, this is what I'm going to say. Do not do something that you're very uncomfortable with. Dress the way that makes you feel comfortable. If you're on a table, eat and use whatever you can use comfortably. If you can't use those forks and knives, go and wash your hands, dry them, and eat your food. Enjoy it. No one will laugh at you. Actually, people will respect you for being you and not trying to be something else. So decide to do things that help you to be respected. Enjoy doing things in your own comfortable skin, because it saves you a lot.
Joshua, your parting shots?
Well, my parting shots will be your good manners plus your good morals and your integrity will take you miles that the best education won't take you. Then my next parting shot will be, it will be better for you to mind more about your character, because your character is what you really are. So it's better to mind more about your character than your reputation, because your reputation will be simply what people think you are. Yeah, I rest my case.
Glenn, parting shots?
I'd like to tell all the youths out there that etiquette is like a habit and can only be learned to use. You know, you can only learn to use it instinctively by practicing constantly. You understand? So even if it's hard, you know, it doesn't take much to, you know, say thank you, say hello, greet your elders. Yeah.
Wow, it's been a wrap up. It's been a wonderful time to have with you guys. It's the real life show again. Please share this video to all your friends and relatives and everyone that you know. And like, subscribe. Yeah, thank you guys. Till next Sunday. Bye-bye.